All right. So continuing on dealing with equations, but before we do that, we're going to write out this equation of 26 is equal to. So 26 equals. So remember, is that keyword for equal. Now here they give it a little more obvious where it's is equal. But it's equal to 57 more than. More than is that clue word for plus. And the product of 136 and t. So 136 and t. So product means times, so we're going to multiply those. And the more than means we're going to add it to that 57. And away we go. Now, when we're actually solving equations where we don't have those options to work with, we're going to work backwards. So that means we're going to do the opposite operation to cancel it back out to get the variable by itself. Now, this is going to be very important when you're doing the homework. Get a piece of scratch paper and write these problems out because you need to get in the habit of doing it this way for when we get into more and more complicated problems. So, remember, variable is that letter used to represent that unknown value in the problem. So, when we have an equation like this, g plus 2 equals 9. G is our variable. It's representing an unknown value. We don't know what g is, but we know if we add 2 to it, we're going to get 9. So to do this, working backwards, we're doing opposite operation. So we want to get g by itself. Right now it has a plus 2 with it. So the opposite of plussing 2 is going to be subtracting 2. So this is where if you look at the order of operations, normally we do parentheses first, then we do exponents. Multiply, divide are together. So they're going to be opposite. So if you're multiplying, you divide as the opposite. If you're dividing, you multiply as the opposite. And then lastly, we would do add or subtract. So again, they're together. So if you add, the opposite would be subtract. If you subtract, the opposite would be add. Now, because we're working backwards, we're also going to do order of operations backwards, but we're going to keep this as one-step equations. So all you're going to worry about is just one at a time. So here, g plus 2, the opposite would be a minus 2. So I want you to write this out. So if we're plussing 2, the opposite would be minusing 2. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So over here, we're going to minus 2 as well. 2 minus 2 is 0, so that's going to be gone. And so we're left with g equals 9 minus 2 is then 7. So I want to see all of this work when you're doing it. When we get to the quiz, when we get to the test, this is what I want to see. If I don't see all this, you're going to lose some points because the work is important doing this here. Getting this process down, I need to see all the work. So 4j. 4j again means multiply. So the opposite of multiplying by 4 would be dividing by 4. And if I do it on this side, I have to do it to the other side because it has to stay balanced. If I do it to both sides, it keeps the equation balanced. If I do it just to one side, it's not balanced anymore. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, so 1 times j is just j. 16 divided by 4 leaves me with 4. So again, get in the habit of showing all of this work. So when you're doing this for the homework for IXL, get a piece of scratch paper, write all of this out. I know you're not going to like it because it's a lot of work, but it's something you need to do to build that memory, that habit of solving it like this. So m over 27 equals negative 20. So we're dividing by 27, so the opposite would be to times by 27. And so I'm going to times this other side by 27. So the 27s would cancel because 27 over 27 is 1, so 1 times m is m. So m would equal negative 20 times 27. Now, I don't know that off the top of my head, so I'm going to do 20, negative 20 times 27 in my calculator, and we get negative 540. So again, positive times a negative, we're going to end up with a negative solution. So negative 540. So last one here, we have d minus 17.7. So the opposite of subtract would be to add 17.7 and add 17.7. So this one here would cancel out, and we have d. So if we add these two together, remember, bigger one gets the sign, always use subtract. So 17.7 minus 17.07. So we're going to make this a 10 by borrowing. Make it 3. 6 minus 0 is 6. 7 minus 7 is 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. Bring the decimal down. So 0.63 would equal D. Okay. So, questions here. Again, if you have questions, please. Here, I'm double checking my work while I'm doing this. Making sure we have 0.63. So, again, if you have questions, please let me know. You can pan me, email me, Google, send me a message on Google Classroom. Otherwise, until next time, we'll talk to you later.